What happened?
What is up, party people? Welcome to an additional episode of Saturdays and Seltzers. This week we are doing a Tequila Tuesday in honor of March Madness and some pretty serious free agency news today. Today is Monday that we are recording on. I think it's March 13th. But my name is Kendra Middleton and I'm joined by my co-host Haley. And this week we also have intern Tyler with us. So we're gonna give you guys some of our March Madness thoughts. And then we'll talk about some free agency stuff. But first and foremost, how we doing, party peeps?
Hey, buddy. How are we?
Hi. Okay. I'm tired and I don't know. I think I'm kind of
It's
sick.
Monday.
Yeah.
Feels
How
like
are
a
you?
Monday.
Yeah, it does feel like a Monday.
I'm good. I didn't do anything, but I'm really exhausted. I think today, just everything going on, I'm like so tired already from just the day. My phone going off every 5 minutes. I'm really tired of hearing it, so just kind of like over the day, I guess. But I got my Panera drink, so.
Okay, wait, can you shout out the Panera deal really quick? Because I feel like so many people don't know about this.
Yeah, so gonna shout out the Panera deal real quick. If you are a Panera member, which is a free membership, right? Kind of like a Dunkin' membership or a Panera or a Panera membership. Oh well. So like you sign up for the rewards program, you can be a part of the Ultimate Sip Club. So it's $8 a month and you get unlimited free drinks at Panera. You don't need to get food with it or anything. It's just $8 a month and you can get unlimited soft drinks, charged lemonades,
That's so nuts
coffee,
to me.
all that good stuff. So I go probably every couple days and get my charged lemonades because they're 400 milligrams of caffeine. And I get some for the day after that. And then I just like stock up on them. It's awesome. I love it.
That is the funniest thing ever. I don't know how they make any money off of that because I would totally abuse it. I'd be there every hour.
Well, the
Um,
thing is, it's kind of smart because a lot of the time I'm already there. So I'm like, oh, I'll just get food. So they do make money off it, I feel like.
yeah, prob. Tyler, how we doing?
Well, we're doing the sad cat Puss in Boots lost last night, so I'm kind of bummed.
Yeah, I saw you tweet about it. That's super
Yeah,
tragic. I'm
Do
I'm
you
very
want to
sorry.
talk
tragic.
about it?
It's very tragic. No, I'm over it. Get
How do
them
you
all Del
feel
Toro.
about that?
I did win our pick'em, in case anyone
She
was
did.
wondering.
Yeah.
I
Congrats.
Not by
beat
much. It was
Tyler
pretty
by
close. It was pretty close between the
I
two
beat
of
you
us.
by
You
two
pulled away.
picks. So
Yeah, you had Avatar, I think, probably is
I have to say, I
what
went
really killed
16
me.
and 5 for the Oscars. I got 16 categories correct, which I think is pretty impressive.
That is
Yeah,
pretty
no, it
good.
is. Considering how
Just
random the Oscars
saying.
usually are, it is pretty impressive.
But yeah, we can recap that later this week. Today we're ready to talk about other things.
Sports.
Yes,
Sports.
sports. Okay, so Haley, not to put you on the spot, but Tyler and I are going to talk about our punishments first because we have figured ours out while you think of one for yours. If we lose our bracket challenge, I said on Twitter that if I was the bracket challenge, I can't remember who it was that put mayonnaise in milk. Some quarterback.
Will Levis.
Yes.
The
Yes.
quarterback
I
prospect out of Kentucky.
You are correct. I don't know how I could forget that with you in my face like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to try his mayonnaise in black coffee situation, and I am scared, but I'll do it if I lose. Tyler has also figured out his punishment.
Yes. Well, I would love to join you in the coffee with mayonnaise. I'm apparently dyeing my hair bleached. Do you dye it bleached?
You
Do you
bleach it.
bleach it? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. Tyler's gonna bleach his hair if he
Yep.
loses.
Yep.
So
Awesome.
we love to hear it. And then Haley, what is something that you don't want to do, but you will do for the Vine?
So let me ask you this. Can I make my punishment then to have you guys select a reality show for me to apply for?
No, because that's our
That's
survivor
the
pool.
survivor one.
Oh, that's the survivor pool. Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Right. I don't know. I have no idea. I guess I'll do one of those like world's hottest chip things.
Oh,
Those
the
chips that you
Takis?
can get.
That's a good one. I also want to do
Yeah,
that. Can
I
I just do
like
all
that.
of these? I might just do all of them with you.
Okay.
I
Because
don't
I
know where
also
you
want to
find
try
it,
each
but
of them.
I'll have to look into it. But I
Tyler-
won't have to do it because I'm gonna win. So
I'll just do all of the
Tyler's-
punishments.
No. I'm so confident that Tyler's bracket's gonna win just
I'm not.
because of the theme. So before we get into this, we have a couple questions that we're gonna address about our brackets, but Tyler has some explaining to do.
Yeah, so my theme, we all know I'm the king of the Sad Cat Village. And I've decided that all of my picks are relating to cats. Not all of them. That's kind of the deciding factor. If like obviously I don't have like a 1 seed losing to 16 just because there's a cat mascot. I went with some logic, but if there's ever like a tiebreaker or a close matchup, I always lean cat.
Always lean cat.
Yep.
So you avoid all logic in favor of the cat mascot. Which is an
Yes,
exact-
in certain situations.
Okay, got it.
In certain situations.
All right. So before we talk about that, I do want to say biggest shocks for me to miss the tournament were UNC. I think that that's everyone's biggest shock. They were favored to come into the season. I don't know what the hell happened. Just everything went so wrong for them. And I think it's kind of bullshit that they decided to end their season and not, play other teams. Like that's just like if you're a blue blood and you don't make the tournament and you decide to pack up and go home, like that's just kind of trash in my opinion. And then my other big shock was Wisconsin, just because I feel like the last 15-20 years they've been a pretty decent basketball program. I mean, like when Frank Kaminsky was on the freaking team, they were kind of fire and they just fell off so quick. I don't know if it was just like a recruiting issue, or I feel like it's hard to keep. I think that that's the issue that we're seeing across the league right now, is just that because you can enter the NBA, there's no loyalty to stay at your school. Like kids aren't staying as long, they're not playing as long, they're not staying around for championships. And so we're seeing people leave really quickly. But I just don't know if that was specifically Wisconsin's issue, but I just feel like the talent that they kept losing just never replenished itself. So I don't know. I feel like they should always make the tournament. Just my opinion. Any other big shocks?
Yeah, no, I ditto that. Obviously I'm a huge Duke fan, so I understand that this is kind of like offside or not offsides, but obviously I don't want UNC to win, but I could not believe that they didn't continue their season. And I think that it's a really bad look. Sucks if you're a UNC fan, but oh well.
Haley's not apologizing for that take. Tyler, any
I mean, I'm with you on UNC as well. But I'm a known Michigan fan, and we didn't make the tournament, so that's my surprise for no reason other than I'm a fan and expect more from them.
As you should. All right. Our big upsets, we each picked a couple to highlight. We're gonna put a bracket up online probably before this episode comes out, just so you can kind of keep an eye on everything. But I have an 11 seed Mississippi State upsetting a 6 seed Pitt. Or like
No.
sorry. I'm reading this wrong. Whoever wins the play in between Mississippi State and Pitt over a 6 seed Iowa State. Sorry. I don't really know anything about Iowa State basketball, and you have to pick upsets, so I'm picking them just for that reason alone. I also took VCU over St. Mary's as my 12-5. Any other thoughts? Who wants to go first? Like Tyler, you can go first.
Tyler, you go first.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got a few. I'm just gonna roll through them real quick because the upsets are pretty much cat related. So I've got 15 seed Vermont beating number 2 Kentucky in the opening round. I have 12 seed Charleston beating San Diego State. I like those 12-5 matchups. And then later in the past the first round, I've got Purdue losing to Kentucky in the Elite Eight. And then I also have Pitt, that playing game that Kendra was talking about, making it all the way to the Sweet 16. Pitt specifically.
That
not
is
just the playing game.
Dedication, if I've ever
Pitt
seen
Panthers,
it to the
let's go
Sad Cats.
Pitt.
I think I also have Purdue out really early, if I'm not mistaken. While I look for it, Haley, what are your big hot takes for upsets?
Tyler, I think that your picking method is disrespectful to the entire tournament.
Oh, do you? Are you
Yeah.
you're
Miss
think
siding with
Lady.
siding
This
with
is
the
not a
dogs here?
game. This is not a game that we're playing here, Tyler. This
It's
is
all
very
about the game.
serious. Okay. The Vermont beating Marquette take is iconic, though. That is. Can you
Go
imagine?
Vermont. The what are they? They're like
The
cougars or something.
Catamounts.
The
Catamounts.
Catamounts.
Yeah,
So
those are
you don't even
cats.
know. You have no idea.
I just saw the picture. Okay, I didn't look into
If
it.
that's gonna be your
I
bet, you need to
just
commit
saw
to
a
it.
picture of a cat
You
in
can't
the
commit
cat
to it
family.
halfway.
I like
And
the
then-
cat bit. I think he's
No,
gonna be.
cat.
I think
Welcome to March
I
Catness,
know.
baby.
I like the cat bit,
Welcome
but
to
it's
March. I'm
not
gonna make
really the
T-shirts.
cat
I'm
bit.
gonna
It's
make
the cat
millions of
bit in the
dollars.
situations where you want it to be the cat bit, and then in other situations, it's not.
he's gonna beat our ass. I hope you know that.
Yeah,
like,
I hope
you
you're
think
ready.
this is dumb, and
I
he's
think
going.
it's gonna be a comical failure.
I don't
But
think so
anyway,
because it's not
my
even. If you look
upsets-
at all of the bracket, it's not even that crazy.
My
Because do I have
upset-
Vermont beating the second round opponent? Absolutely not.
I think
My
that Tyler is
upset.
going to beat our
Cats are
ass.
gonna roll. The cats
cat-
are inevitable.
I don't agree with the Vermont take, but everything else, pro cat. It's a
Yep.
pro cat podcast.
This is a Pro Cat podcast. And if anybody's beating Purdue, I think Kentucky is a very good pick to beat them.
I
It's
think
interesting you
Haley's.
say that because I also have that.
Oh, well, look at us. Who'd have thought?
I do have Memphis beating Purdue, by the way, in the second round. So I'm
Well, I
anti-Purdue.
have Purdue losing to Kentucky by like association, because I have Purdue losing to Duke, who I have making it to the Final Four. My other upsets, I have Kennesaw State winning over Xavier. What else do I have? I really am hoping for a Texas A&M Texas showdown, and I have
Ooh, that
Texas
would be
A&M
good.
winning in that, because if anything that I learned from college football this season, it is to not sleep on Texas A&M. And I know that this is not college football, but also it is true. So
Texas A&M won 3 games this season, ma'am.
Texas A&M,
Texas A&M?
Texas A&M.
You could definitely have slept on them last year. They were not waking up.
My big sleeper this year is Marquette. And that's because I do understand that, hear me out. I realize that they're a second seed, but where they were at the beginning of the year and where they're at now are just, I'm waiting. I think that they're going to start playing elite basketball in this tournament. My thing is, and I was going to get into this later. I had the question of who is overhyped, and I said everyone. I'm going to spoil it now. And it's just because I don't think that we have one standout team that we've seen kind of, or one or two standout teams. Like, it's always like Duke, UNC, Kentucky, whatever. It's like they're probably a guaranteed Final Four, if not champion. And I don't think that, I think that the media is sleeping on Marquette because I don't see anybody talking about how good Marquette could be in this tournament, just because I feel like their road to get there really might not be that hard in comparison to some other people. Like, if they have to play USC or MSU, fine. Kentucky, not the Kentucky of old. And it'd be Memphis, Tennessee, or Purdue. Like, that's really not a hard way to get there.
Or
and
Vermont.
I feel like, or Vermont. So do I think that in the traditional sense of the word sleeper, they're a sleeper? No. But do I think that they're still a sleeper in my eyes and maybe a few others? I kind of do. I know that's not like the hottest take in the world, but
yeah, no, I completely agree. I think we talk about this a little bit more every year too, about the importance of conference play. And I feel like them having the performance they just had coming out of the Big East tournament against a couple pretty good Big East teams, I think that they have a lot of momentum going into the tournament, especially with that seeding, even if it might seem overhyped to other people. We've seen in the past that ability to kind of have that momentum going for you into the tournament ends up bringing you pretty far. So I really like the Marquette team this year. I couldn't agree more. I think even from storyline purposes, like you pointed out, the beginning of their season to now, I think they're going to be really fun to watch. I have them making it to the Sweet 16. I have no issue seeing them go to the Elite Eight. I don't have them picked. I have Kentucky beating them, but I think that's an easy upset. It can go either way.
you're also rocking with Memphis as your sleeper, as we talked about before the show.
Yeah, so I love Memphis. I think Memphis is a really fun basketball team to watch this year. I think that they're definitely going to be one of those teams that can play both sides of the ball in the sense of a lot of these teams on the bracket. I question whether or not their defense is going to be enough to get them through the main meat of the tournament. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Memphis has been really fun to watch this year. I just think that they're kind of one of those colleges you don't really think about till this time of year comes around. And they're just a really fun basketball team to watch. I like a lot of their players.
All right, Tyler.
So Sad Cats, Kentucky, that's my sleeper. And I
Couldn't tell.
believe I actually really like them, Cats aside. They're a veteran squad. They kind of have started playing well down the stretch of the season. I think. I don't quote me on that because I watched absolutely zero Kentucky. This is just what I've heard on Twitter. Um,
Everything you read on the internet is 1000% true.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Obviously, that's why I'm here.
Okay, continue.
That's really it. That's all I got.
All right,
Kentucky.
perfect.
Let's go
That was
Kentucky.
the most in-depth perspective you'll ever get on Kentucky basketball right
Oh,
there.
Yeah, it was
that's why they pay
beautiful.
me the big bucks.
We
People.
really do. Yep. I mentioned that I think everyone is overhyped. Haley, you have Miami as your overhyped team. I also was close to picking Miami, so agree, but tell me why.
Yeah, so without self-reporting, obviously, like I'm a huge Duke fan, and we just talked about conference play. The ACC was low-key trash this year. I'm gonna say it. Not the best that it's been, and Miami also just not a. I just didn't think that they were worth a 5 seed. I was kind of confused why they were there. Mathematically, I guess it makes sense, but also I don't know. They were way too overhyped in terms of ranking for me, and I'm also gonna put. I just had another thought of someone that I was over ranking. I don't know, but yeah, I guess I'm gonna stick with Miami. Miami was too high for me.
Okay. Tyler, you have UVA and I love it, but tell me why.
I do have UVA, and probably for very different reasons than you for loving it.
True.
I just dislike UVA, and I hope for their failure at every turn. Let's go JMU.
Are they on the list?
I don't think they're deserving of the list because it's not really. I don't like. I hate them, but it's like not like a Kirk Cousins hate. It's a different type of hate. I
I
don't know
I
got
if that
think
you.
you
makes sense,
two.
but it's a different kind of hate.
I think you two have the potential to watch a really fun
It's like siblings.
Virginia upset this
It's
year.
like it's like siblings for me. The Virginia schools, I can't stand them, and we have the biggest rivalries in the world. But at the end of the day, I still, if I had to go to war, I would go to war with UVA because Virginia schools stick together.
I have to interrupt our show. This is not breaking news, but someone just DM'd me. I'm checking Twitter, not because I am a bad host or anything, just because we're waiting for Aaron Rodgers news. And I saw that I had a DM from someone. So what did I do? I opened it. And it says, Kendra, please, I need the template for your meme. Holy shit. Nearly peed myself at Applebee's.
Wow,
And
Applebee's.
I just said go to Chili's next time. And then I sent him my meme template.
Can you screenshot it and tweet it and at Chili's?
Which one was it? Was it the
I
Oscars,
love
Morgan
Chili's.
Freeman, Margot Robbie?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that template. It's pretty.
Which one was it?
The
Morgan
Freeman
and Margot Robbie from
It's
the
so
Oscars
funny.
last night.
Sorry to interrupt, but any other comments before we talk about our final fours?
No, ma'am.
Nope.
Aye, Captain. All right, final fours. Haley, who do you have in your final four?
All right. I hate to do it, Kendra, and I'm sorry.
I know. We can just talk about it now.
I know. We'll just rip the Band-Aid off. Which, pause, did you
I
guys
actually
see
do want to talk about this.
the Band-Aid TikTok?
No.
Band-Aid TikTok.
Have you not seen this? Quick pause. There is a viral TikTok going around about how you're supposed to take a Band-Aid off
Oh, I have seen this.
without it hurting.
Yeah.
And it
Without
blew
it
my mind. So you
hurting?
should look it up because it's really crazy. But anyway, the Band-Aid that Kendra and I are ripping off is I have Alabama. I have Alabama to win my whole bracket. Spoiler alert. But I do have Alabama going to the Final Four for the South. Um, the Alabama basketball team is really good.
I
That's my March Madness hot take. Okay, everybody, you've heard it here first. Alabama men's basketball, really good. They're just like, I don't even know, and I know Kendra. I'm sorry. I really like them to win this entire thing. I think they're gonna do it.
Here's the thing, and you know what? It's gonna be everything. It's all anyone's gonna talk about, so I don't feel bad talking about it. Am I an Auburn fan first? Yes. Do I have to dislike Alabama for that reason? Yes. But it's the fact that do I have them winning my bracket? Yes. Because I don't want to try mayonnaise and coffee. That being said, do I think that Alabama should be allowed to I don't even know if allowed's the right word. It's just how they've handled this situation. I get that so far all we know is they've handled everything legally, but have they handled it with grace? No. And it's honestly disgusting. Like, I don't know if Brandon Miller is it Brandon Miller? It is Brandon Miller. I get their names are so similar that I get
I think
them.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. Their names are so similar that I mess them up all the time. But that being said, this is going to be all anyone is going to talk about when they're playing. And it's just the fact that he's still playing and is potentially an accessory to murder or has been, I don't even know. And the more that comes out about it, the more that I just am like, how is he still playing? And on top of that, Nate Oates has handled this with absolutely no class, no dignity. I love sports, but we talk about it all the time when like bullshit goes on in sports. It's just so hard that you prioritize winning over absolutely anything, your morals included. And it's like, I hate getting serious on this show. I hate getting serious in general. I hate getting serious on Twitter. It's not even an Auburn fan thing. It's just a human being thing. I just can't even imagine being that young woman's family and like probably having some details to this information to this story that they can't share. And it's like you're watching this kid find success, maybe even go win a title. He's winning all of these awards in the SEC and the league and whatever. And it's just, I get he's a kid, but even if he didn't have the role in this that a lot of people think that he does, I don't think he should be playing. And I'm sorry if that hurts people's feelings, but he knows things, he knew something, he was involved in something tragic. I get that they want to be good. He's their best player. He's the best player in the league. But at what point does it not just become that, but the whole school, the whole department, Oates, everyone. And I know that was long winded, but you're going to hear it 80,000 times this week. So I thought I'd say it one more. I do feel guilty for having Alabama winning my bracket, but like, I just don't understand how we got here. And it just feels inevitable that they're going to win a national title, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing for me, right, is that with everything going on, right, you know, I can't help but feel for those student athletes that are not involved in that situation, that are really talented basketball players. And obviously nobody's guilty until proven so, but it is a very unfortunate situation, obviously, to happen right around this time. And, you know, you look at college basketball as a whole, like the whole Chris Beard situation this year, there was a lot of stuff that came up this year that just didn't shine brightly on the NCAA and men's basketball in general. And I think that's really unfortunate because it's honestly my favorite time of the year in sports. I love the tournament and I love college basketball in the way that you guys love college football. So I think overall as a whole, it's just kind of disappointing as we look back to you know, what happened at Baylor all those years ago. And it doesn't feel like anything's really changed in the sense of the way that these schools and these administrations are tackling these issues. So I couldn't agree more. And, you know, at the end of the day, we have to talk about it with the athletic sensibility of who's going to really win these games. And again, like I said, I really have them winning it all. But at the end of the day, I couldn't agree more with what you said. It's really just not a great look.
I will say I have been obviously tuning into every second of media that I can so far this week just because of everything going on. And I don't think I've ever seen as much coverage or dialogue about the women's tournament as I have this year across every platform. And I don't know if it has to do with the fact that the women's game is growing. A lot of people are paying attention to it. It seems to be broadcast not equally, but like a lot more equal than it used to be. It's not even where it should be. But I've also seen a lot of these talk shows talking about the women's tournament a lot more. And I'm almost like, is it because of kind of a roundup of everything that's gone on? It feels like the women's tournament is just as fun and innocent as March Madness is supposed to be, because that's how I feel about it. Like, I feel like I've paid equal attention, if not more attention, to the women's tournament this year, just because one, I think that it's more entertaining to watch the big seeds in the women's tournament that are kind of powerhouses right now compete with some of these other like teams, potential upsets coming, that sort of thing. But it's also just because the men's tournament kind of feels a little dirty to me this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a totally fair take. I could absolutely agree. I think the women's bracket has gotten a ton of attention. I've gotten a bunch of notifications about it on my phone, which means, I know other people are getting notifications on their phones too about it. A lot of coverage on social media, and I think that's great. I think the ability to be able to invest time and money into that program and into that bracket, I think is really important. Because I think I can't agree more. I think those top seed schools and all, obviously every team in the, in the NCAA, you can argue there were some really incredible athletes that we get to watch in these tournaments, and especially in those last 4 games and, those last 4 teams. I think it's really kind of cool to get to, South Carolina is just such a fun basketball team to watch.
They're
They're just so
fun.
fun. I love Coach Kim out of LSU. Like, there are so many good storylines that come with women's basketball. So I love seeing them get the support behind it. It's definitely an interesting theory to think about it almost as a distraction potentially from what's going on in the men's basketball brackets and in the, more not so great things that are happening. But honestly, I'm not going to complain about it. I think it's good. I think they should get more, recognition, and that's cool.
Yeah, it's not even as conspiracy theory as it sounds. It's just, I think, I mean, maybe it is. We don't really know. But for me, it's more so just that the men's tournament, because of Alabama and everything, it just doesn't feel as dreamy as March usually does for me. I don't know. But that being said, who do you have Alabama playing, and who's on the other side of your bracket? Sorry for the long rant. We got pretty serious for a second.
I know. We tend to do that, and then we're
like,
what?
It happens.
It's all good. So on the other side, I got my boys, the Blue Devils. I know that's a hot take, but I could not have them in Final Four. I think it would be an awesome year for them to make a Final Four. I love John Shire. I'm just gonna say it. I'm obviously a Celtics fan, so they gave us Jason Tatum. Yeah, I'm a Duke apologist. Sorry about it. But with that being said, I do have Duke losing to Alabama, having Alabama go to the national championship on that side of things. And then on the other side, for the Midwest, I have Indiana. And then in the West, I have UCLA. And then UCLA pulling out a win for the West and heading into the national championship against Alabama.
Okay.
Tied win.
All right. Tyler.
Yes. So I feel like I definitely should have gone first because all that serious talk followed by my sad cats. It's definitely.
I think it's a great follow-up.
No, that's good. We gotta pick it up.
We gotta like bring it lighthearted again.
Well, I'm gonna go right back into it. I'm a man of honor and respect, and I have Alabama getting upset by the Arizona Wildcats.
God, I was hoping. Okay. I was hoping it was going to be something insane.
Fair prediction. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, no, it's pretty vanilla, but it's a 1 versus 2. And what round is that? The second round? No, that's Elite 8. That would be Elite 8.
Yeah,
it would be Elite 8.
So I have Arizona beating Alabama. I like to believe, and so I'm very man of science. I don't believe in ghosts or any of that. I like to believe karma's a thing. And Alabama's going to get what's coming to them.
Wouldn't that be so nice?
Ball doesn't lie.
I don't care if my bracket busts. That's all I care about.
And then from there, on the other side, or that Final Four, I have Arizona versus Kentucky. My sleeper from this year, as I said. The other side of the bracket, very vanilla. 1 seed versus 1 seed. Houston versus Kansas. Final four into the playoff game, Kentucky versus Houston, where I have Kentucky getting the upset on Houston. Sad Cats. 3 of the 4 teams are Sad Cats in my final four.
Okay. And who's your winner? What's your tiebreaker?
Oh, tiebreaker. So Kentucky is my winner.
Oh, Kentucky is your winner. My bad. Wow.
So the whole reason I wore this hat, Kendra.
I thought you just had them going
68.
like that is what my final score is as well, but I don't
really?
but I don't have the same
teams.
Yeah, okay. So I have Alabama playing Marquette and beating Marquette. And then I have Houston playing Gonzaga, and I have Alabama beating Houston 72-68 in the championship game.
This is my first year in 5 years that I don't have Gonzaga going to the Final Four.
What happened to Gonzaga? I feel like
I'm telling you, I'm tired of having my heart broken, and that's why I did it.
I mean, they are a 3 seed.
I feel like Gonzaga's a lot quieter this year than they usually are.
I have them out in the Sweet 16.
That's what scares me. I think Drew Timmy's about to go off.
I almost had him losing to Grand Canyon in the first round.
Drew Timmy's got to be 38 years old. I feel like he has been on Gonzaga since the year I was born.
He has been there for forever. It's like the Stetson Bennett of college basketball.
He really is the Stetson Bennett of college basketball. Like, he's had to have been there for fucking decades. Okay, is that everything? I think that's all that stuff. We have the quickest reactions to some of the free agency news today. I'm trying to keep it to under a sentence. Tyler, if you have any comments.
I'll just barge in if I do. Yeah. I don't think I do, though.
So today, obviously, we're going to start out with some Jag news. Well, sort of Jag news. Juwan Taylor was sent to the Chiefs for... I don't even know. Basically, what I wanted to talk about with this was his contract, because that's the thing that's like really beefing me up here. Juwan Taylor, I'm glad that I will preface this way. I have never seen a contract like this, and I'm glad the Jaguars backed out because I didn't want to spend this amount of money on him. I'm happy for him. I'm always pro player, get your bag, whatever. That being said, I do think the Chiefs are going balls to the wall to win one more fucking Super Bowl, and here is why I think that. It's because this season, Juwan Taylor is going to be making $1.08 million and a $20,000 workout bonus. And then from 2024 to 2026, he's making $19.5 million a year with a $500,000 workout bonus. And his signing bonus was $18.9 million. Him making $1 million next year and then 19.5 the next 2 is so crazy to me. I'm sure that there have been contracts like this, but this is wild to me. I don't know if I've ever seen a contract like this backloaded.
Yeah, I thought the same thing too when I read it, honestly. And was it you that tweeted out today, like, who's using the black card, the American Express black? That was so, I love that tweet. That's exactly how I felt too. Like, where is this money coming from? You could totally tell the Chiefs are investing. They really want another Super Bowl win. I'm going to be interested to see how it works out. If it works out in their favor, I love Juwan Taylor. Obviously, I loved his time with the Jags. Love him as a player, pro player. Same thing you said. Good for him, but absolutely wild contract. Again, we said this last week too. These agents, man, are just wheeling and dealing with these players and just coming up with some crazy stuff that we haven't seen before. So I don't know if that bodes for what's happening for the rest of this week with free agency, but if it's anything, we never know what they're going to do. So we'll see.
Next quick thought, Sam Darnold to San Francisco on a 1-year deal. Quick thoughts. I don't understand why it's not Baker Mayfield. You can't tell me that Sam Darnold is better than Baker Mayfield because he's absolutely fucking not. And on top of that, I feel like it's just a mid-ass security blanket in case these 2 young kids, like, something happens, like one of them still hurt, neither of them work out, they both shit the bed. Maybe that offense really is not the safest place for quarterbacks to play, like we've said. I don't know, but I don't understand why it's not Baker Mayfield. Maybe he would have cost too much money. I don't know, but like I think you could pay him what you paid Sam Darnold.
I agree, and I almost wonder if he would be better for those younger quarterbacks than Sam Darnold would be, in the sense that he has a more recent experience coming into the league. But I don't know.
I mean, I would more so.
Maybe in the opposite argument, Sam Darnold's more apt to mentor those guys.
I don't know. I kind of like Baker's like big dick mentality as like a mentor. Like I feel like you kind of need that in someone who, I mean, I don't know. It's not like I wouldn't have Baker Mayfield start, but I do think that he just has that kind of attitude where like young guys now in the current league relate to that more than someone like Sam Darnold, especially I think Trey Lance would relate more to that. And yeah, I don't understand why it's not Baker Mayfield. Do I think that either of them should be starting in the current NFL? No, but when you have to pick between the two and they're worth the same amount of money in my opinion. Maybe Baker you pay a like barely any more money, but like what? I don't know, just weird to me. Jimmy G to Vegas. I think that as the quarterback market kind of closed and people were kind of solidifying, they knew that they needed to make a move. He was obviously one of those guys that needed somewhere to go, especially as kind of the Jets conversation switched more to Aaron Rodgers rather quickly. I will say, I think that he looks great in silver and black. He looks even more sexy, especially with his salt and pepper hair. Sorry, not sorry, bonk me. And my other thought is that him and Derek Carr are virtually the same like person. Um, I just totally stole your thought without even doing it on purpose. Me and Haley are just on the same page. But I will let you comment further. My bad, didn't even see it. I was gonna say though that him and Derek Carr are like basically the same person. It's just that Jimmy's contract was cheaper for them at the end of the day. And if you're having two quarterbacks that are basically the same person, you're obviously gonna take the cheaper contract. Move Derek Carr. He wasn't happy in the situation. Whatever, fine. Haley, I'm so sorry.
No problem. Jimmy G is a fucking smoke show, and he's hot. And I can't wait to see him in a black uniform, and I can't wait to go to Vegas and have an excuse to see him. So that's going to be awesome. I really hope they treat him better than Derek Carr. I'm going to be honest, like no shade to Vegas, but the end of that partnership was not great. It did not seem from the outside perspective. I'm always rooting for Jimmy G. You know, he's a product of the Patriot system. I loved him when he was here. He's a good Italian boy. My mom loves him. Everybody's mom loves him. I just want him to do well.
I know that this isn't true, but I'm going to tell myself it's true. I think that they knew that they needed to get Jimmy G in that fucking uniform to balance out the sexy factor of Mark Davis's bald ass head.
It's giving infected nipple.
Oh, man. All right. Speaking of Raiders moves, I just have to shout out Jarrett Stidham to Denver. I love Jarrett from Auburn. Obviously, he wasn't the best quarterback there. Do I think he's the best quarterback in the league? No, I'm sure you love him too because of the Patriots. But I think he earned this contract playing the end of the season for the Raiders because of everything. Or yeah, I hate not calling them the Oakland Raiders. It's so weird still. I almost called them Oakland just now and I had to catch myself. But he showed that he could play at the end of last season when all of that drama was going on. I don't know. Nothing really to say. He's back in orange and blue. The end. Jalen Ramsey to Miami. I have a lot to say about this. First of all, we both have the note that Miami is going to be fucking sick. They have two incredible corners. The wide receivers that they have. They did get rid of Hunter Long. Tragic, sad, rip. Love him. BC, New Hampshire native, king. That being said, I'm glad he didn't come to Jacksonville. Love you, but didn't want your contract. That being said, I feel like this is the most Jalen Ramsey move of all time because when he left Jacksonville, I knew that he wanted to be in a bigger market because that's just his personality. It was New York, Miami, LA, something like that. And him going from LA to Miami to win another Super Bowl in nice weather and just be Jalen Ramsey is so Jalen Ramsey that it is just, I don't know. It's just so him.
Yeah, it's completely fitting. Absolutely fitting. He's going to look so sick in the teal and white. Like he's gonna look so awesome.
Clean.
He's gonna look so clean. You know he's gonna have like the swaggiest shoes. Like he's gonna find these cleats that just complete the outfit. I can't wait to see it. I think Miami's gonna be really fun to watch. And that's as a Pats fan. I'm already calling they're gonna beat the Pats both times because they always beat the Pats. But I think they're going to look really good, not just in front of the Pats this year. I think they're going to look good in front of a couple AFC teams that they're going to maybe not see that coming.
So that's the big question, though, with them is, what's going to be going on with Tua? Is he going to be able to play? Is he going to be healthy? I have said it before, and I know that he's obviously going to play. But if you're a loved one, you got to be looking at him like, holy crap. And
Yeah, I mean, and I almost wonder too, like, is that an advantage of the Ramsey signing, is having another weapon that may or may not give him more time to, not be in high pressure situations that'll be able to allow him to have time to, maybe get things out of the pocket faster and, hopefully not get hurt again. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's scary. I would
I
just
mean,
hate to see anything happen or anything go south. So I don't know. I mean, the Dolphins have had a couple signings today that have led me to believe that they're trying to put as much support in their offense as possible. So obviously that's a concern for them as well. Is pretty telling. But I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I mean, as far as the Jalen Ramsey thing, like, I don't think that really helps Tua at all because you don't want to keep your defense on the field forever. Like, if you have a good defense, the point is to get them off the field and keep your offense
Right.
on the
Yeah. I guess
field.
that's what I meant. Yeah. I guess that's what
But
I meant.
that being said, I think the only way that it really helps Tua is that if for some reason he comes back and he struggles a little bit, it gives the team and him a little bit of confidence that you can put your defense out there and kind of expect for them to be able to make a play to put you back on the field.
Yeah.
So, and I think that that does help. And honestly, I know that the Rams were trying to get rid of money. They cut a couple people to do so. Like, they need cap. They're rebuilding. I don't even want to say rebuilding. They're kind of just tuning things up a little bit to get better. But it's like, I feel like they got fleeced, even though they're trying to get rid of some space and like all that kind of stuff. I feel like I would have even, I mean, I didn't want him on the Jags. I don't want to give him that amount of money. But I saw the deal and I was just like, damn, I don't know. That's
Yeah, and I guess that's a good point too. And I'm not trying to say that he's obviously they're on opposite sides of the team, so they're not going to support each other at the same time. But especially with everything that happened last year, I think having a veteran guy come in and act as that leader for the defense is going to be huge. Looking at what
totally.
he was able to do in LA and how he really became a leader among those guys, I think that's going to be huge, especially with the questionability of Tua, being able to play to his highest performance level. We know that he is the lead guy in Miami right now, and those guys really look up to him and want him to succeed. So I would hope that having Jalen Ramsey there adds a little support for him in that respect.
I will say having him play across from Xavier Howard is incredible. It's giving him an not even I wouldn't say him and AJ Boye because people didn't expect AJ Boye to have the season that he did in 2017, but I would say the expectations are a little bit higher. If you don't go to a if Tua plays how people expect him to play despite having injuries and you don't go to a Super Bowl this year, especially playing in the division that you play in. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. People are seeming to say it's going to be a signed done deal. It is a done deal, whatever. Honestly, I mean, I don't know. This is your division. Do you think that the Dolphins could beat out an Aaron Rodgers led Jets with that defense in this division?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I do.
Mm.
Absolutely, I do. Because at the end of the day, I feel like I always go into every season sleeping on Miami. I've said that for like the last 5 years. I think that they're starting to kind of get this momentum, and the division itself is starting to lose momentum for the other teams. I think I'm not sure how I feel about the Rodgers in New York situation. I don't know if that's going to be an experiment gone wrong. That's something we're going to probably talk about later this week, but I don't know. I feel really good about this Miami team. I think that if they're able to, figure out the kinks in their offense, figure out the Tua situation, if Jalen Ramsey can lead this defense to what he was able to lead the defense in LA, and you know,
That
I
defense
just
was
think
so sick though, like across the board. Miami's defense is like fine, but they're just not that defense. But it's just that you have so many star players for me on one roster. I feel this way about Buffalo last season, LA when they won the Super Bowl, whatever. I just when you have that many big names and that many contracts and that's the thing. Let me ask you this. So the AFC East, I don't know how Patriots fans can feel as though they're going to end up anywhere else other than the bottom of this division next season, even if you nail the draft perfectly. I don't know how you feel any other type of way, especially if the Rodgers to the Jets deal gets done because that defense is fucking sick. And you have the Bills. What, like, how, I mean, as a Patriots fan, how do you feel any other way, or do you feel any other way?
no. I as a Patriots fan, I feel not great. That's how I feel. Realistically, I'm seeing I'm seeing a 3 or 4 placement in the division.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that, but for me, it's our ability to win on the road that is going to probably just absolutely decimate us in this.
Except for in Miami.
Well, no, that's the lack of being able to win
Yeah.
on the road. I think we're not going to be able to win on the road at all if we're like if it's going to be like how we are when we play in Miami.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if they, because it's every time they play. My mom always says it's every time they play in Miami, they just shit the bed, and it's like I just have PTSD to the Vegas game from this season, and I'm just like really nervous about our ability to play on the road. So I don't know. I'm obviously, as a fan, I would love them to not be 3rd or 4th in the division, but with these Miami trades and drafting and the decisions that the New England team is making right now, I can't see a situation like you said where they don't come in the 3rd or 4th in the division. Like you said, the Jets defense is sick. I hate to admit that. I don't think the Aaron Rodgers thing is going to work out.
I think it's going to be fine.
Ask me in November and maybe I'll look like an asshole, but I just don't see it working out because I don't know. Obviously, like history doesn't repeat itself, whatever, but it didn't work out for someone else that made a similar decision. So
I think it's going to be fine. Jason Kelce also announced that he's coming back next season. I'm shocked. You love it. I don't have anything else. I'm just surprised. I don't know. I kind of expected him to hang it up. You love it?
I totally expected him to hang it up, but I totally fell in love with them during the Super Bowl and the storyline and their mom and his
I
wife.
can't like him because he talks shit about the Jags and their fans. I can't do it. Like if he didn't, I would love him, but I am fuck you forever.
That's a good point. Great point.
Yeah. That being said, Calais Campbell, I can't even talk about it because I will throw up. I will pass out. He's my favorite player ever. There is obviously a not a very huge chance that this happens, but I can't even talk about it.
I texted Kendra today and she said, please God, don't text me about this anymore because I can't even think about it. I will cry.
I can't. I would vomit.
I kind of want him in Detroit.
Shut the hell up,
Personally.
bitch.
If he goes, but with that being said, like we can't even talk about it because if he goes anywhere other than Jack's, like
You can support him in Detroit.
Dude, if he didn't retire a Jaguar, all right, I'm actually getting ill. Last thought from me, Aaron Rodgers is cringe plus ratio. And if I was a Jets fan, I'd already fucking hate him. And that's all I have to say. That's it.
Same. Ditto. I hate the Jets. I hate Aaron Rodgers. And I just hate that we have to talk about both of them in tandem for another season.
I hope that we find out, like, whenever he ends up signing and we'll probably be into the season, I hope he's had, like, a Netflix crew following him around these past, like, 4 or 5 weeks.
I don't, because I'm so sick of hearing about him. Like,
I would love sick of hearing that. I would watch that so hard.
Is Aaron watch that, but you wouldn't watch the Kirk Cousins documentary.
Yes, correct.
I'm gonna. Oh man, is Aaron Rodgers
obviously the Aaron Rodgers one would be more interesting?
No, Aaron Rodgers isn't on the list. I don't have that big of feeling. I don't really feel a certain way either way towards Aaron. I think he's a very interesting man, and I would love to watch a Netflix show on him. But I don't really care either way.
It's like Tiger King. Is he
Kinda,
really
yeah.
a good person?
He is very similar to Tiger King
but
for me. What was his name?
Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic, yeah.
All right. I am checking one last time for any more updates.
I'm not seeing any.
I don't think we have anything other than Patrick Peterson is going to the Steelers. Any other closing thoughts, Gucci?
Please, dear God, New England, don't make any more stupid trades.
Oh, the Jonnu Smith thing. We forgot to talk about that.
I wasn't going to mention it because I didn't want you guys to roast me, but I'm going to throw it in here. Please, dear God, don't do anything stupid. I can't handle it. They re-signed Jonathan Jones. Thank God. Got really nervous they weren't going to do that. But it's just I can't even do it. And also news came out today that Ninkovich, I forget where he's going, he's getting looked at because of course the Patriots didn't want to pay him. So
Good
yeah,
night, McCourty. Also done.
yeah, Rip, legend, absolute legend, super nice guy. Shout out him. He's just like one of my favorites. I played him in Madden all the time, and my mom was like, he never does anything, and I'm like, no, mom, I play him in Madden. He's so awesome. And then obviously he got really good, and she figured out what a good player he was. So I roast her for that all the time. But yeah, so please, dear God, my closing thoughts, Patriots, don't do anything stupid between now and Thursday. Or between now and when we record next. So between now and Wednesday, please God.
Tyler.
I can't handle it.
Yeah, closing thoughts. I don't really have too much. Apparently the Lions might be in the running for Austin Eckler. I think it was Austin Eckler. I don't
Yeah.
want him.
Oh, that's
I don't want him.
interesting.
Were the odds on like second highest odds at like plus 500? I don't want him.
I love being bored
pass.
that my team's not doing anything because we're good.
Yeah, Dolphins
Yeah.
are not Dolphins.
What's that like?
Detroit hasn't really been doing too much either. I
All
don't know how
right.
I
Crazy
feel
that
about
neither
it.
of your teams are making absolutely wildly bad decisions. So
Yeah, I
Sad
wish. I kind of
cats
wish we were. I like
forever.
to. I
So
like to get
awesome
upset
for
with
you
things,
guys.
and they're just not giving me anything to be upset with right now.
Oh my God. All right. That's all we've got for you. Thanks for listening. Love you guys so much. Keep on sipping, y'all, and we will see you on Saturday.
Bye, guys.